You're listening to Cinematic Adventures, proud member of the Misfit Faction Media Network.
Good morning, Vietnam!
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
Road, where we're going, we don't need roads.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Vices? We don't need no vices. I don't have to show you any stinking vices.
You make me want to be a better man.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
He's looking at you, kid.
Not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Cinematic Adventures. If you're listening to us on the go, you can catch us on Podbean, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, and pretty much anywhere else you can get your podcast. As always, I am one of your hosts. I am Sean, and I'm here in the studio with Paul. Paul, how are you today?
You know what, man? I'm pretty fired up.
You are?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
F-U. Not really.
No.
And what does that spell?
Spells fired up.
Not really that way either.
Yeah, that's true. But, so, if any of you don't understand where we're going with this is an episode we have to be joined by someone else, and that is our special guest from the Multiverse Fancast, and that is Ronnie. Ronnie, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Was there an emphasis on special for some reason?
No, just special. Just absolutely special. There are some movies that we've talked about in the almost 2 years we've been doing this that we were like, no, we have to wait for Ronnie to talk about that movie. One of them was obviously Nightmare Before Christmas. Couldn't talk about that without Ronnie. Mm-hmm. I know we did, I think, one of the Mel Brooks movies with you. I can't remember.
We had to do Batman and Robin with him.
We did.
Yeah.
And then today. Yeah. And what we were going to talk about today is the classic American comedy that won many awards and is
except for the box office.
Everybody's top 10 lists, pretty much, if you only talk to this room and maybe one other person. And that is 2009's Fired Up. Let that sink in for everybody.
Honestly,
let them give them time to Google and Wikipedia.
Yeah. Here is your Google Wikipedia 2 seconds, and you can look up this forgotten gem.
Bad movie.
Yes. And the best thing I can say about this movie is it is an 80s comedy that was made in 2009. Mm-hmm. It is the perfect storyline for an 80s comedy, and if you like 80s comedies, the teen sex comedy, which really doesn't exist anymore, and it really hasn't since like about that time, maybe even earlier. I think this was kind of like a kind of flashback to that era. Like we had the, obviously the John Hughes comedies, the Porky's, Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah. This was post-American Pie.
Oh, this was definitely, this was post-American Pie. So, I mean, this was post-Road Trip, post all of that stuff.
The rated R teen comedies that proved that people would go see them. People would still, if American Pie came out with another one, like with the main cast, we'd go see it.
Oh, absolutely. We went to see American Reunion.
And we actually thoroughly enjoyed it.
We enjoyed it.
I think the fact that we're also like at that age.
Oh, well, that too.
Yeah.
That too. But so I want to lay this out for a lot of people. Now, Fired Up was a movie that I distinctly remember Paul calling me up and saying, hey, man, me and Ronnie are going to the movies. We're going to go see this movie called Fired Up. Do you want to go? And I'm like, that's a teen girl movie because it's about cheerleading. And they're like, no, it's not. No, we just...
It's kind of funny because you saw like one of the characters in the movie.
Yeah. And I'm like, nah, man, I don't want to go see that movie. And they were like, fine, whatever. And like a day later, 2 days later, I saw you both, and you're both like, dude, that movie was hysterical.
Yeah.
You have to see this movie.
We were the perfect age. Like, unfortunately, this movie did not do well at the box office. No. It didn't make its money back. I think it was short like $3 million. It was a flop. And a forgotten flop. Now, this movie, though, when we saw it, you had to be the exact right demographic for it. Yeah. Like, we have, like, our friend group, our friend circle, is comprised of, like, I'd say there's 9 of us. No, 1, 2,
you could do the
3,
math.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of us, right? I was close. And more than half will defend this movie to death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You, me, like, Sean to a lesser degree, because he still does enjoy this movie, but Ronnie and I are, like, basically part of a cult.
Ronnie and Daniela.
Yeah. Joe has fallen asleep through it. Melody's watched it, and she was like, all right, it's fun.
Yeah.
Like, and then I don't think, has Jackie ever seen it?
That's a great question.
Well, I know what you guys are doing this week.
Amen to that.
Bring it to Boston. I dare you. I dare you.
All right,
that's it. I have it here. I'll get you.
Actually, I think it's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu, so if you get Hulu on the hotel TV, there you go.
There it is.
Who says New Year's Eve like Fired Up?
Not really.
But I just want to say, like, so they kept pushing me. It left theaters, so obviously I wasn't going to see it in theaters. And you bought the movie.
I did.
And we watched it when we went down to Virginia for like a weekend trip.
Yeah.
A full week trip.
I was about to say, we did not go to Virginia for a weekend.
Sorry.
It's a 6-hour drive.
I know. Okay, I corrected myself. I'm sorry. Apologize.
Sorry, I'm
It
fired
was,
up.
it was it was it was a romantic week. I apologize. I know we're still.
It meant a lot to me.
And this was the first movie we watched that night. We were also shit-faced drunk, but it was hysterical. It really was funny. It really hit the right moments, right moves for me. The jokes were funny. The jokes were silly, and it was just a fun little movie.
This movie,
It doesn't pretend to be anything that it's not.
and you know what's great about this movie is there is character development, and there's some very interesting directional choices which are funny, but also this is a movie, and I think we just talked about it in our last week's episode, where you can make a solid PG-13 movie with the right script.
Yeah.
And that includes raunchy teen comedies.
Yeah.
It's funny, you look at some of the raunchy teen comedies like of the 80s, they would probably be some of them would be PG-13 by today's standards.
Oh, yeah. Porky's would be PG-13.
I'd even say
probably.
Revenge of the Nerds R?
First one was, yeah.
I would say it would be a PG-13 now. Might have to tweak one or two things.
Tweak some things, yeah. But,
Yeah.
But this movie is surprisingly well written.
Mm-hmm.
The chemistry between the two leads is fantastic.
That's the key, I think, is that you
Yes.
got, even though they're not, stars, they're solid actors who you see on TV, all around.
Well, the reason I wanted to go see this movie was one of the actors had just made his appearance on Heroes.
It's probably the
It was
brunette, right?
Nicholas D'Agostino. He played West or something like that, and that was when Heroes. It was season 2 of Heroes, so it was right after the first season where everybody loved. One of these days we'll do an episode on Heroes for Multiverse, but it was at the height of it.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, they were promoting that he's doing a movie. I was like, oh, I would love to go see a movie, with him, and we saw I think I saw a trailer. I was like, this looks like American Pie with cheerleading.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest reason. I think. Ronnie, you
It was a
watched
male Bring It
Heroes?
On.
Kinda, yeah.
Pretty much.
But with the chauvinistic aspect,
Yeah.
which they do address. And they also, at the end of the movie, the main characters do progress and they do get better, but at the same time, they're still very similar to how they were. Like, they don't make any qualms about it, and it's much more realistic in that regards. And speaking of Heroes, you also have a cameo that we didn't know about for years from Masioka.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so we'll get through that, because we're going to... What do you want to do? The cast first? Do you want to talk cast?
We can do cast first.
Because some of these guys actually did go on to play or at least have solid careers afterwards.
Well, you got Nicholas D'Agostino. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
He's not listening.
He did, as you said, he was on Heroes. He was on Gotham.
Oh yeah,
He played Harvey Dent.
That's right.
He's more been a TV actor. He really hasn't done any much movies. I know there was a really silly comedy that he did a couple of years ago on NBC called Trial and Error that was actually really funny. Eric Christian Olsen, who, before this, his probably his claim to fame was Not in a Teen Movie and the Dumb and Dumber sequel.
Yeah. Oh,
he plays the young
prequel.
Prequel. He plays the young Jeff Daniels. But
no, he doesn't play. He plays Jim Carrey's character.
Oh, he's Jim Carrey's character?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought because of the blonde hair.
No, they put him in a wig.
Oh, he put him in a wig. But his big thing right now, and for the last decade plus, he's been on NCIS LA with Chris O'Donnell and LL Cool J.
Yeah.
And that, I think he started on that right after this movie.
Yeah.
So let's talk really quick then, since we're here. They have such great on-screen chemistry. You could tell that they definitely got along with each other. They were definitely, but like the running joke that one of them makes is how old the cheerleading coach is that he's trying to bed, and he was like 30. So this movie, we'll keep going through the cast, but the fact that the two of them just worked so well together, and they were able to cue off each other and bounce off each other. Like, one of our favorite lines is when they're trying to go to cheerleading camp and they're trying to get the younger sister to help them.
Yeah.
And don't they just throw the girls up and then catch them, and they both do the hand motion simultaneously. They were really good, and that's also a sign of a good director, directed by Will Gluck.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going down.
We have Sarah Romer, who
she was on a show, wasn't she?
She was on The Event.
That was it. Yes, I actually dug that show. I was kind of sad when they.
It was just the whole lost fanatics with that show. It's pretty what Manifest is right now, basically. Molly Sims, for all you Las Vegas fans out there, I loved that show. Oh my god.
Or Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition.
Yes.
What?
Somebody call a doctor.
David Walton as Dr. Rick.
One of the most unlikable movie characters of all time.
Yeah.
And just we still love him.
Animal House reference.
Love it. So, fun fact from our fanny packs, we quote this movie at least once a week.
Oh.
It's very rare for us to not quote this movie in some capacity in some way. Even just like the whole movie reference thing, love it.
Yeah.
Like it is this again. This it's a testament to how well this movie is written, and it is a shame that like the critics didn't really care for it. The box office reflected that nobody went to go see it.
Yeah.
But oh my god, like
because who was it? Like,
it was catered to.
It was catered to you guys, to us.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was. It was probably not marketed that way.
No.
I don't remember what the trailers were like on TV, if they even were on TV. I don't even remember ads for this movie when it came out.
And this was right after Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Oh really? Wow. To be honest, that's really about it in terms of the major names of this movie. I can just keep going.
I'll stand by. Hold on.
John Michael Higgins.
I was looking for him. I forgot about him. Yeah, I think he's uncredited. That's why he's not listed here.
Yeah.
Oh, no, there he is. Coach Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Annalyn McCord. She was big on Nip Tuck. She was on there for a couple of seasons. Annalyn, who played Gwyneth, Panthers Out.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was pretty big on that show for a
Danielle
while.
Ackles.
Danielle, she was on it as the lesbian.
The lesbian. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Margot Harshman from Even Stevens fame.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Even Stevens fame.
You remember Even Stevens?
Yeah.
She played Tawny,
Oh, wow.
the Lewis's friend and romantic interest.
Interesting.
Alan Richardson.
Alan Richardson, yes, Aquaman and Jack Reacher himself. I like how Sean was like, "That's it for the cast."
Yeah, pretty much. That's really all it was.
I just remember him from Blue Mountain State.
Yeah, he was pretty good on Blue Mountain State. But yeah, otherwise it's a lot of G-list characters. Heather Morris from Glee was in this. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I have to keep an eye out next time. But yeah, it's just a lot of G-list, lower level characters.
There's just like a bunch of people that you're like, I recognize your face.
That's
You know what it is?
yeah,
It's like, I recognize your face. I don't know where I've seen you other than Fired Up, but I know your face.
I didn't realize that the Even Stevens girl is the same girl from NCIS who plays McGee's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Would you like to take a quick break before we get into the plot?
I guess I could.
Yeah. So let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to break down the plot of Fired Up. Hey guys, it's Paul, and the Misfit Faction is looking for your help. We are trying to grow not only our network, but also grow our brands, and the best way to do that is if you guys are looking to start your very own podcast. Maybe you guys have been listening to us for a while. Maybe it's something you guys have always wanted to do, but you're not sure how to get started. If you go to podbean.com/misfitfaction, you guys will get a month of free podcasting set as a gift from us. So make sure if you guys are looking to start your own show, you reach out to us and go to podbean.com/misfitfaction. Also, maybe you guys have your own online business or service that you're always looking to grow, and advertising is a very big part of that. If you guys go to sponsorship.podbean.com/misfitfaction, you guys can get $100 worth of free advertising, again, as a thank you from us to you guys. That's sponsorship.podbean.com/misfitfaction.
And we're back, and we're going to dive into the plot of Fired Up.
And it's been a minute since we've done an actual plot.
Yeah, we
breakdown.
don't do plots as much anymore because lately we feel like we've been doing movies where people just don't need the plots really.
Also, we've
read
been
back to them.
doing like either topical stuff
Topical
or
stuff, yeah.
franchise stuff.
Yeah. So Nick and Sean are two popular football players at Gerald Ford High School, and they manage to get out of their football camp and con their way onto the cheerleading team.
So let's start with the opening.
The opening scene. The opening scene is with the two of them with two girls who you could tell that they're like the typical, jocks who are just schmoozing their way into any girls, hearts that they can.
Because you have Nick, played by Eric Christian Olsen, who does the whole, "Oh, what's that? I feel butterflies. My mom said that the first time I ever met a girl that I really cared about, I feel butterflies." And she's like, "Let's have sex."
Yeah.
And then he plays off and he goes, he's so shy. Like, I'm a little bit more shy because I've been hurt. And then he dog eyes her with the puppy. It is such a great opening scene. And then the girl's dad comes. What?
No, both the girls' dads are both muscle heads, and they come home meatheads, and they like.
The best is the one girl says to I think to Sean, she goes, "Just your best bet is just lay on the floor until he stops beating you because I think I might love you." And he looks in the bed and he's like, "Oh no, this is what we wanted." And they football maneuver their way out.
Yes.
And they outdrive and then they jump over fence. It's like it is such an 80s classic teen type movie. And it sets the tone for the entire movie. Like they're two chauvinistic, womanizing kind of guys. They're not bad people. They're just teenage boys. Yeah.
Their objective is to infiltrate the cheerleading camp in order to meet girls.
It's like the simplest plot.
Yeah, right?
Why has no one never thought this up before?
So what happens, though, it then cuts to them in school, and it has one of my favorite lines. So Sean's obviously like the nicer of the two, and Nick's kind of the more meatheadish and the more like man's man kind of guy, you know, like they're both on the football team and all that stuff. But there's a great scene of them walking through the hallways, and you get all the backstory you need to know about these two in one scene. Yeah. The one girl thanks Sean for helping her with science, and she's like, "You're so awesome." And he goes, "No, science is awesome, and you're awesome. Now go crush that test." Yeah. And I'm like, "It's
so Van Wilder."
It's so Van Wilder. That is the perfect way to explain it. Yeah. And then obviously you have Nick, who can't remember girls' names. Yeah. And it's like Jennifer, and he's like, "It's not that hard of a name to remember." Yeah. It's like, I just don't talk to tech support. That's one of my favorite lines. Yeah. And you get introduced to their football coach, and that they're supposed to go to football camp in El Paso, Texas.
Yes.
Yikes.
And they realize, nah, we'd rather go to cheer camp.
Yeah.
But they do show the cheer. I guess they're doing like a pre-game sports, like a pre-season scrimmage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. Yeah. And you see them flirting with girls in the stands.
Yeah.
And of course, this is where this movie's a lot like a CW show where everybody's just super attractive. Yeah. Like there's nobody ugly in that school. No. And they come. I think they come to the realization at the party.
Yeah. Yep. They were at the party, and one of the joxygen.
He needs joxygen.
He needs joxygen. Yeah, that's I think where they were like, yeah, we're definitely going to cheer.
Well, I think they overhear. So the school has a cheerleading team that just sucks.
Yeah.
Like they're falling over each other. They're like just the worst. And they talk about how they're going to cheerleading camp, and there's 300 girls who want it just as bad as we do, and are much better than us. So I think is it Nick gets the idea. Yeah. Let's go to cheerleading camp instead. Now let's also preface this. This movie was 2009. It is not subtle with some of its depictions of male masculinity and LGBTQ plus mentalities and all that stuff. So please don't be offended. We're just quoting the movie at this point, and just we have to get through it. So it is a little dated, and it is a little product of its times. But a lot of the teen movies
It's only been 13 years, and we're already calling it dated.
Yeah,
right. Unfortunately, the world's moving faster than we can keep track of. But so they decide to go to cheerleading camp. And Ronnie, who do they need help from?
Poppy.
And who's Poppy?
Poppy is Sean's little sister. That's also a cheerleader.
She's also a cheerleader, and she's
going to the camp.
She's going to the camp.
Like her brother's out there getting laid.
Yeah.
And she's just like in her
bunk.
bunk.
She knows, and she's okay with it too.
Oh, how old are you? Seriously, how old are you? But Poppy's one of the funniest characters in this movie.
Yeah.
She's a 13-year-old or whatever it is, 14 years old.
14 years old.
But she's got the mentality of like a 50-year-old businesswoman, and just she convinces them that how to get onto the team, but in turn, she gets Sean's room.
Yeah.
And he's got his own bathroom.
After cheer camp, you won't even need your own bathroom.
What? What does that even mean? Yeah, sorry guys, we're gonna be doing a lot of quotes to this movie. So if you haven't seen this movie,
I remember that was one of the first quotes. You were just like, "This is the one." You guys would just keep going back and forth, and I'm like, I don't. What context is this in? Like, what are we doing here?
What does this even mean?
But I always love when they get on the bus with the cheerleaders and the whole bus ride. It's the different cheers. It's like
we are driving. We are. And at first they're like really into it. They're
into it. They're like, we are eating. We are eating. And then at the end they're like,
are driving again. And they ask Poppy, who's like not into it at all, which is weird that she's a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Like, how long does this last? The whole ride. And she makes a joke about wait until their cycles match up. Yeah. And I remember not getting that the first time. Then I was like, because that's apparently a thing.
Yep.
So this is one of the weirdest parts in this entire movie. They get to cheer camp, and there's a shot of them standing outside, and you don't see what they see, and they're like sweet Mary in a D cup, but the shot is reversed for some strange reason. That one shot is a mirror shot. Like the hair, both characters' hairs are going opposite way. The writing on the bus is backwards. For some reason, they decided that way was better, and I don't understand why.
I don't remember.
I think it might have just been a whoops.
A whoopsie?
Yeah.
I just love that. It's like, is this for real? Did we die? It's like, no, because then we would have heard, we are crashing. We
are crashing.
And they do it together, just like we just, like the chemistry between the two of them is what I love how it cuts to basically 100 beautiful women
on the stairs stretching.
On the stairs just stretching, and they're stretching in tune to the music.
Yes.
Like to the beat. And it's just the wildest thing.
Man.
So immediately they start flirting, and like I like how the two whenever they talk at the same time. That's always funny.
Yeah.
Guys, let's go. Okay, coming. I'm gonna put a bookmark right between you, so that way we know where we left off.
And then we get them at the meeting.
They meet Diora.
To meet Diora, and also
Gwyneth.
the coach.
So before that, though, they meet the Panthers, and we also find out that their team, the Tigers, has like come in dead last for this entire movie, or for like.
I love how he actually did it too. Like anyone's actually seeing it, but he did it.
Well, so Gwyneth, the head Panther, they asked Annalyn McCord to. You know who she's married to?
Annalyn McCord.
Do you know who she's married to?
Not me.
No, Heatwave from Legends.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, that's serious.
Wow.
They were very on and off again though. So like,
Heatwave?
who's the other guy from Prison Break? Not
Dominic Purcell.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for him.
You're welcome.
And
but
her.
they asked her to create a move for the Panthers, so she did the like she created, and they all do it, and they're all like, Panthers out? What are they, a knife gang? Like they poke fun at all like that cheerleading. Like it's a lot like Bring It On, which they do reference.
They do reference the movie. Like they're literally watching the
watching
movie
it.
in the quad, and they're quoting the entire movie.
Yep.
Like
You would have lost your mind being there. You hate when people talk during the movie.
I hate that, but I actually like Bring It On as a movie. I think
I do too.
Really,
I'll give you that.
Really funny movie.
So we get introduced to Coach Keith. Sean, tell me about Coach Keith.
He's very prohibidabido.
Yes, just weird.
I was the first male cheerleader at my high school ever.
They say I came out of the womb with
so over the top, and just John Michael Higgins is great in anything he does.
Yeah.
He's just so funny.
But he's married to Diora.
Diora, played by Molly Sims,
and who Nick is trying to get with.
Yep.
You know, ancient and regretful. But the best is when he's introducing himself, he's very flamboyant, he's very over the top, he's very dramatic. So you assume, especially in 2009, that he's probably gay.
Yeah.
And then he's like, let me introduce my super sexy, handsome wife, Diora. And they're like, did he say wife? No, he couldn't have. And she comes out and they kiss, and he wipes the kiss off his mouth.
Yeah.
Like, so it's an interesting dynamic, and it's very funny. But we get introduced at that time to one of the most, one of our favorite lines, and then also one of the most famous cheerleading moves of all time. So first, he comes out, he goes, "Are you fired up?" And the whole crowd goes, "We're fired up." And how do you spell fired up? F you. And Nick and Sean are like, not really. And then like they keep going with it, and then they say fired up, and he's like, "What's that spell?" Fired up. Not really that way either. And it's just the two of them doing commentary in this whole scene. And I think that's also what makes this movie work so well, is the fact that would be like us. We'd be sitting there going, this is a little weird.
Yeah.
Where are we? But
I don't understand what's going on right now.
shuffled them.
Really don't. But they pretty much, right after that meeting, they really pretty much dive into their plan of trying to basically sleep with every girl in this camp. Unbeknownst to the girls on their team, because obviously they're not going after them because they see them all the time.
Yeah.
They actually say no girls that we go to school with.
Yeah.
They specifically say that. But
that's why there was all that drama with Sean and Carly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we also get introduced to other male cheerleaders that are in the same bunk as them.
Brewster, Downey, and there's the sports, the super athletic guy.
Yeah.
Is it Adam?
Adam.
Yeah.
And the Eagle.
And then Downey.
Yeah.
So we get introduced to...
Those are his beats.
So first we get introduced to Brewster. Brewster is openly gay, and he's very much, my name's Jack. Like, I punch bad guys and I kiss girls. Save it. Like, I like Brewster because I think he's funny, and he is like the realest character of this entire movie.
Yeah.
Adam, who's there, and he's like an actual sports guy.
He's
like
into the cheerleading.
Like, he wants to go to college on a cheer scholarship. Yeah. He's got a long-term girlfriend that they've both been cheering together.
And the guys think that he's there for the same reason that they're there for. Because, again, he's like the little, like, athletic built, macho guy kind of, or whatever. And he's
I think one of the girls even says that there's only like 12 straight guys at the entire camp.
Yeah.
But, and then we get introduced to Downey. Downey comes in. He's like, I got beer, footballs, Xbox games. Let's get this party started. And
Down
like,
to earth.
Yeah. Like, and you don't really get a good vibe on him also because he's like, tell me about the ladies. Oh yeah, their cheerleading gets much better. They see a lot of progress. Wait, what?
Yeah.
So now we're kind of getting into the world of these characters, and we start with the montage of them just hooking up with every girl.
Yeah.
Fun fact, you ready? One of the characters had either a cold or mono, or one of the actors, and didn't tell anybody. So it went around everywhere. And it's a fun montage, you know, like you hear all their pickup lines and all their ways of getting with the girls. They even mentioned, like, when they're looking through, like, the roster, like all the likes and dislikes, he's talking to one of the girls with cats who likes cats, and she has a cat on her shirt, and he's talking about his imaginary cat. Yeah. So I it's just funny.
And doesn't he like writing poetry or something like that?
We find out that
we find out later
on that Nick's been writing poetry in his journal
about Diora.
About it, but just in general. But then we get one of our other favorite scenes where they're in the lunch hall or the dinner hall, and it's all like super healthy, like sprouts and jicama and like all this stuff, and they're just like, they're teenage boys, and Nickelback sucks. We learned at that point. But Poppy hooks them up with candy that she magically puts in their pockets. Yeah, because she's got the shine. Yep. And now we also see the budding relationship between Sean and Carly. Yeah. Carly's the cheerleading captain. She's the one that didn't want them on the team. Yeah. And
it's predictable from the beginning that was going to be what was happening.
Of course. And like they start, flirting, and we find out though that Carly has a boyfriend.
Oh no. Yep.
Pre-fiance actually.
Yeah. She's got the what's the ring? The
promise ring?
Promise ring or something like that.
No, they just call him pre-fiance.
Pre-fiance. Yeah.
But we get introduced to Dr. Rick.
Tub thumping. Tub thumping.
Soundtrack to my life. And he is the douchiest, broiest, frat boyest, pre-med, thinks he's a doctor guy you could possibly imagine.
Size 9 in Crocs.
There was nothing redeemable about that character.
No.
There was nothing that they made likable about that character. Mm-hmm. He actively cheats on Carly. He's only with her because his parents approve. Yeah. And like nothing else. Like nope. There's nothing good about him. But the fact that Carly's like with him is even weird to begin with. Yeah. Because like she was like, I'm on to Nick and Sean. She was right. She never got her validation that she was actually right. Yeah. I think like at the end of the movie they're like, oh, we always knew you were here to pick up girls, but we thought you were actually getting into it. Yeah. So Dr. Rick becomes the antagonist of this movie, which is funny because I like Dr. Rick from the Progressive commercials. Turning into your parents. Yeah. And we get a montage of them getting better at the cheerleading and being, but we also find out that Nick and Sean were planning to leave the camp a week early before the big competition at the end of the summer. So they can go to their football friend's house party that like lasts a week. So they have bus tickets and all that, and they get ready. They are going to go, but I think Sean decides he wants to stay, so Nick eventually relents.
Well, because he's also fallen for Carly.
He's fallen for Carly, and he doesn't want to do that to the squad, and he does get super into it. Which, this is my biggest gripe with the entire movie. So they get the bus tickets, right? Like, the bus leaves in 15 minutes. Like, he specifically says it leaves in 15 minutes. Like, we have to go. There is no way that it's been less than 15 minutes that they get confronted about it. They could have just been like, look at the times on the tickets. We were planning on leaving. Like, just be like, we were planning on dipping out, but we're here and we want to stay. I think it would have solved a lot of the last act drama. Right? But yes, you find out Dr. Rick finds their diary, which has all the poetry about Diora. Diora's all into him. Yeah. And they do get kicked out of camp. Yeah. They go to the football party, but they're just not having fun because now they're matured.
They do the cheerleading move to get to the stuff on the top shelf.
Yeah.
Catches them. Hey, Frankenbeans.
I do have to back up a bit.
Oh, back it up.
When they're sneaking around at night and they're in like the little quad area.
Oh, they go swimming?
No. Well, yeah, I think they were coming back from swimming.
And they're naked?
And the coach stops them and they're like, we're just practicing our cheer moves right now.
So we can really learn nude? So we can really learn the muscle movement. Al dente?
Let's go swimming. I misjudged the depth.
Learn from me. There's so many quotable. I know we haven't even actually like gone through the whole plot. We're just kind of picking and choosing at this point. But so they decide like this isn't our lifestyle anymore. Even though like they do like I think he's like watching the show and there's like the hot chick in the bikini. Yeah. He's like, I wonder what she wants to do with her life. What? Like how Becky wants to be a pilot and so oh my God. I'm a person. I'm well developed and with feelings. Oh, you can rest your beer on that pooper. Like, and you're back. Like they don't make qualms that they're supposed to be 17 years old. Like, of course their minds are going to change. Their mindset's going to change. So I do enjoy that about this movie. But they go back and they manage to convince them to take them back to the team so they can compete, and they do all right. Yeah. They don't. Thank God they don't win. I respect the movie more for not making them win.
But bring it on. They didn't win either.
The reason they didn't win was because Sean messed up, during the Fountain of Troy.
That movie's prohibidado.
I said it in Spanish.
How much clearer could I have been?
So yes, there is a move called the Fountain of Troy that they introduced in the very beginning of the movie that's too dangerous to ever do.
Yeah.
But they decide they're going to do. And what's Coach Keith's real name? The actor?
Oh, John Michael Higgins.
Yeah.
He tells them that it's prohibidado.
Yeah.
And I say that in Spanish, so you know how dangerous and not allowed that is. So that's the running joke. Prohibidado? Diabado? And also one of my favorite lines is when they stopped in the middle of their routine to plan this.
Yeah.
And I think it's Nick who goes, "We're doing a lot of talking during the routine. I know I'm new to this, but I don't think we're supposed to be doing so much talking during the routine."
And
it cuts
right
back to a lot
of talking in this routine.
Again, it's very self-aware.
Yes, and again, we're not claiming this movie is
Gonna change your life.
God's gift to comedy, or it's going to change your life. It's not any of that, but it's just a fun, enjoyable hour and a half.
Oh yeah,
That's what movies need
Yeah.
to. That's what movies are. Movies are an escapism. They're meant to make you laugh, meant to make you cry, whatever you want the movie to accomplish. And this movie does that. Is it stupid? Yes. Is it unrealistic? Absolutely. But that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's just a lot of fun.
It's one of those you need to go in this with the mentality of like a 17-year-old boy.
Pretty
Like
much.
this is
You know what I mean?
This is American Pie.
Yeah.
American Pie, it's Road Trip, it's Revenge of the Nerds, it's
Yeah.
Porky's, it's all of those movies. It's all of these 80s and 90s, sex comedies that just they don't make sense, but they're just there. And it's just a good fun time. And if you watch this movie and you don't laugh, then I just don't understand. Like it's funny.
Oh yeah,
it's funny. You're
Like,
gonna have a good chuckle.
yeah. I know we laugh almost like nonstop.
Yeah.
Which you might not do, but there's some things in here that you have to laugh at.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't laugh at it, you have no sense of humor.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
I like the one where oh my god, where Nick is holding up Sean at the end of the movie.
Oh, Rock Me Sexy Jesus.
And he drops her. He goes, Diora is right. I do favor my right side.
Oh, Fraggle Rock. Still use that one. But yes, this is. You want to do a Star City rating for this movie?
Absolutely, we can do a Star City rating. How about you?
I give it a
Start
three and a half out of 5. It is again. It's not going to change your life, but I think just us personally, I'll put it at like a 4.5, just because.
Yeah.
But as a movie and being more objective, it is definitely a 3.5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with that. I personally a 4, but if I was actually grading this or whatever, it'd definitely be a 3.5.
Yeah, I was gonna go 3.
So.
Just good quality movie.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a good time. Nothing crazy. But my own personal opinion, I don't watch it as often. Or I don't own it, so I haven't seen. I actually haven't sat down and watched it in a while. It's never on TV.
Yeah,
No.
no. I don't think anybody has the rights to it.
Nah. So. Yeah, on my own personal opinion, I'd probably give it 3.5. But as a movie, it's probably about 3.
Okay, that's fair.
Actually,
Oh, yeah.
Hulu.
According
to this, Hulu.
Yeah, Hulu has it.
We established that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was established,
did?
but we're talking about like broadcasting.
Where was I?
We actually told you you should watch it on New Year's Eve in your hotel room
In
with your
Boston.
wife.
Yeah.
That shows how much.
Wow, Ronnie is checked out.
Woo!
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day. All right. Well, on that note, anything else, Paul?
Some of your favorite teenage.
Oh, some of my favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Sure.
Mikey.
Now we were going to discuss where this movie ranks, I guess, up with like other, teenage comedies of the past 30 years, and it's. I don't think it's near American Pie or Van Wilder. It's in the top 10. I'd say it's probably like near
Like an 8.
an 8, 9, probably like that. It's a sneaky good movie.
What's your number 1?
Teen comedy,
Not another
sex
teen movie.
comedy, or just a teen comedy?
Just teen raunchy comedy.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Revenge of the Nerds.
I love that movie.
Oh, we're going that far back?
Oh yeah, because that's when we
okay.
started. I'd say Revenge of the Nerds, followed by Animal House.
Oh, okay, if we're going that far back, Animal House, no doubt, is my favorite.
I'm going to be weird with this. American Pie 2.
Okay.
I think that movie's grown. I find it funnier than American
Not
Pie.
Bandcamp?
No, not Bandcamp. I find it funnier than American Pie.
The walkie-talkie scene is
Oh,
Yeah.
he's
the
so
best
can.
part of that movie.
And weirdly enough, Van Wilder number 2.
What?
I think it's just because I think I saw them first. And
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Okay. I'm sorry. Sorry. The way you said that.
Oh no, not the Rise of Taj. Not the Rise of Taj. No. And number 2 would be Van Wilder. Oh my God. Pass me the tidy wipes.
I thought so. I thought he meant it the same way you were thinking with Van Wilder 2, like the number 2, and I was like, okay. No, but okay.
I was like, Paul, we saw that movie together. We both walked out of it going, that was pure garbage.
Except for the tidy wipes.
Oh, Van Wilder is, I think, one of the... I remember when I saw that movie in theaters, and I was crying.
It still holds up.
Throughout that movie. Her name's Naomi. That's Simone backwards.
One of the nerds that hires him is
Big Bang.
Yeah. Wild. But anyway,
how about anything else?
I think that's it.
I think that's it. It's been a long day, so we're gonna end it now. And this has been fun. As always, I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
I'm Ronnie.
And make sure you guys check out our content.
I literally asked him, Paul, is there anything else? He always does this to me. You're the one that lists. Check out our content.
If you go to our website, themisfitfaction.com or
no,
Facebook.
don't go to our website.
Go to our website. What are you
doing?
doing?
I put a lot of work into that.
You put work into it. Lots of real.
I set it all up.
It doesn't. It runs itself. But
I still set it up and edit it.
But
just for that, I'm never doing it again.
Yeah, you will.
You're right.
I know. But make sure you guys check out our website, themisfitfaction.com. Ronnie did put a lot of work into it. I'll never disparage that. You can also find us. I'll never seriously disparage that.
Again.
For the third time. You can also find us on Facebook, Cinematic Adventures. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, also for Misfit Faction.
Snapchat?
No Snapchat. That's weird. Yeah. Weirdo. But yeah, now we're officially wrapped up.
Oh, thank you. Okay, wasn't sure there. As always, I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
I'm Ronnie.
And everybody out there, have a blessed day.
Sure.